Hey there, what's going on? So it's never enough to reiterate the importance of natural language. And when I say natural language, I mean language that's similar to that used by native speakers. Native speakers would never take you seriously as an English speaker unless you don't speak like them, like speak naturally, you speak in a natural way. And one of the fundamentals when it comes to speaking natural English is using special expressions. Special expressions are also technically in English called collocations. Collocations are just simply pairs of words or groups of words which are often used together as a package. These combinations of words sound natural to native speakers. But the problem is non-native speakers of the language, learners of the language, students of English, they have to make a special effort to be able to understand and to learn these collocations because they are most likely or most probably difficult to guess. Some of these combinations, some of these collocations just sound wrong to native speakers if they are not used correctly. For example, and that's one of the most famous examples of collocations, it's that type of food that you get at restaurants like McDonald's or KFC. This type of food is known as fast food. In English, we have another word that's similar in its meaning to the word fast, and that's the word quick. But this doesn't mean that you can replace fast in this collocation with the word quick. So you can't call this kind of food quick food because it's called fast food, because that's the collocation, that's the natural way of saying this meaning or of expressing this meaning. Also, when you talk about fast cars, these are the cars which are known for their speed. You cannot say quick cars, although quick and fast have the same meaning. On the other hand, you can say a quick meal, but you can't say a fast meal. So you can say, for instance, in an example, I didn't have breakfast today, but I had a quick meal at work. I had a quick meal at work. You can't say a fast meal, although quick and fast have the same meaning, and so on. So when we talk about collocations, we talk about combinations of words, groups of words, can be two words or more, but they're typically two words, which are used together as a package. And it's essential for you as a learner of English to understand these collocations and to use as many of them as you can so that you sound native and you sound natural to native speakers. So learning collocations is an integral part of learning any foreign language. I'm talking here about English, that's my specialization. Some of these collocations are fixed, they are very strong. For example, you say take a photo. You cannot say make a photo, or you cannot say do a photo. This is called a strong collocation or a fixed collocation, meaning that it doesn't accept a lot of words, or it doesn't accept even any words apart from a certain specific word, which is take in this example. So the only verb that you can use correctly with the name or with the word photo is the verb take. You take a photo. Some other collocations are more open, so they accept several different words to give the same meaning. For example, you can say keep to the rules, or you can say stick to the rules, or you can say adhere to the rules, comply with the rules, abide by the rules. All of these are suitable, appropriate, proper collocations to be used with the word rules. So as you can see, in this instance, the word rules is open to many collocations, to using many verbs with. But that's not the case in every time we talk about collocations. Some other famous collocations include make an effort, make an effort. You do not do an effort. So the right verb to use with the word effort is make. You must make an effort and study for your exams. You also watch TV. You don't see TV, or you don't look at TV. Although watch, see, and look at are pretty similar in their meanings, but the one that collocates correctly with the word TV or television or telly is the verb watch. So as you can see, sometimes the collocation is not fixed, not very strong, and it's open to using several words and gives rise to the same meaning. And in some other occasions, no. There is a particular specific word that must be used, and apart from that, the collocation will be counted or will be deemed wrong. So sometimes a pair of words may not be absolutely wrong, and people will still understand it as native speakers, but it's not the natural or the normal way of saying it. For example, you might say, I did a few mistakes. A native speaker of the language, a native English speaker, a British, an American, an Australian, or a Canadian, they will understand you when you say, I did a few mistakes. But a fluent English speaker or a native English speaker will say, I made a few mistakes, because the right verb to use with the word mistake is the word or the verb make. There are also another type of collocations. We have compounds and idioms. Compounds are two nouns used together as a compound or as a mixed word that's composed of two or more words. Sometimes these compounds are written separately, or sometimes they are hyphenated. Hyphenated, it's like this little dash that's written within a word. So a hyphen is within a word, a dash is between separate words. And sometimes they are written as one word. So a compound, for example, like car park, 2 words. Post office, 2 words. On the other hand, shoelace, 1 word. Teapot, 1 word. So sometimes these compounds are written as 1 word. This word could be hyphenated or not hyphenated, or sometimes they are written as 2 separate words. Of course, it's not always easy to learn all these compounds and to know which ones of them are hyphenated, which ones are written as separate words or as just 1 word. It takes a lot of practice, and as they say in the common saying, practice makes perfect. So you need to practice more and more to be able to distinguish or tell apart which ones should be hyphenated and which ones are used as single or separate words. Idioms are also considered an important or a crucial type of collocations. An idiom is a group of words or a special expression that the meaning of it is different from the meaning of individual words. For instance, and that's an idiom that I talked about before when I was given the session about idioms, you can refer back to it. It includes a lot of idioms used in everyday language. There is an idiom called pass the buck. Pass the buck. Buck here is spelled B-U-C-K. If someone passes the buck, which is an idiom, it means that they blame someone else for the responsibility of a certain mistake instead of taking the responsibility on themselves. So if you pass the buck to somebody else, this means that you have made a mistake, or somehow you were involved in a certain mistake or in a certain problem, but you say that it wasn't my fault, it wasn't my problem, it wasn't my issue, and you blame someone else or you blame something else for the responsibility of that problem or of that negative situation. Collocations are very important to learn, and learning them is a good idea because it adds a natural appeal to your language. For example, when you say smoking is strictly forbidden, smoking is strictly forbidden, that's more natural than if you say smoking is strongly forbidden. Strongly forbidden isn't considered a correct collocation, although you will be understood most probably. Most probably people will be able to comprehend what you say, but the thing is, they won't take you as a serious English speaker, as a good English speaker, because you're not competent at using collocations effectively and correctly. Also, collocations give you alternative ways of saying something which may be more colorful or more expressive or more precise. Instead of saying, for example, it was very cold and very dark, you see, that's a poor style because you're redundant, you're repetitive, you repeated the word more than once. You said, it was very cold and very dark, I was very scared. You see, very, very, very. That repetition makes your style a bit poor, whether you're speaking or writing. So you can say instead, using the correct collocations, It was bitterly cold and pitch dark. It was bitterly cold and pitch dark. So bitterly and pitch collocate respectively with cold and dark, and they are way better, far more appealing to the ears of the listener, to the ears of the person speaking to you, than when you say very, 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 and you keep repeating yourself. So to take away or to get rid of redundancy, you need to learn more and more collocations. Also, learning more collocations improves your style in writing. So instead of saying, for example, poverty causes crime, which is very, I'd say very boring, very straightforward, very dull, you can make your writing more spicy, more colorful, more vivid by saying poverty breeds crime. Poverty breeds crime. Rather than saying a big meal, which is understandable and comprehensible, but it doesn't sound very native, very authentic, yeah? You might say a substantial meal. Substantial is another word, another adjective that collocates with the noun meal very well. So to wrap up what I have said in this session, or what I have said in this episode, you have to use natural language to sound appealing to native speakers. A fundamental part of natural language is special expressions, which is technically called collocations. Collocations are pairs of words or groups of words which are used together as a package, and you can't change them much. Some of them are open to changes. They are more flexible. You can use more words in them, giving rise to the same meanings. Others are very strict, very strong, and rather fixed, so you can't change them much. Try to learn as many collocations as you can in order to smoothen your speech, make it sound more authentic or natural to native speakers, and also to spice up your writing and make it more colorful, beautify it, and make it more vivid. I thank you very much for your attentive listening, and I hope my videos are appealing to you. Please don't forget to like the video if you like it, to subscribe to the channel, and share the content if you find it useful with your friends and family. And I look forward to seeing you always. Have a great day. Goodbye.